So today I was reading this interesting story about the most powerful ruler, the Sultan who died, but no one was allowed to know. So imagine you are in the middle of a battlefield and nearly 100,000 soldiers are waiting for their next command. Every decision could mean victory or disaster. And the man leading them, the most powerful person, is dead. But no one is allowed to know. Orders are given, the campaign is still running, but no one is allowed to know. The secret is well guarded. But the question is, how did they manage to keep such a secret in the middle of a war? And what was holding them back to put it out? This is the true story of most powerful ruler in the Ottoman Empire, Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent, and the secret that changed history. So before we uncover mystery, we need to know who Suleiman really was. Before Suleiman became Sultan in 1520, the Ottoman Empire was already very powerful. But under his rule, it reached the height of its influence. His armies expanded deep into Europe. His navy dominated much of the Mediterranean, and his court became known for its wealth, culture, and law. In many regions, he was called Sultan the Magnificent. Inside the Ottoman Empire, he was often remembered as Kanuni, the lawgiver. After more than 4 decades on the throne, he had become more than a ruler. He had become the symbol of the empire itself. In 1566, despite being in poor health and being 72 years old, Suleiman decided that he would lead one final military campaign, and his destination was Hungary. The fortress was defended by a much smaller force led by the Croatian nobleman Nicola. Military, Hungary was important. But for Suleiman, this campaign was also about demonstrating that even in old age, he remained the leader of one of the world's greatest empires. As the siege continued, however, the Sultan's health grew worse. Then, during the campaign, he died in his command tent. But the battle wasn't over. Now the Sultan's closest advisors faced the impossible decision. If death's news spread through the army, panic could follow, and rivals could use this as a weapon in the war. The succession itself could become unstable, so they chose secrecy. According to Ottoman sources and later historical accounts, only a small circle of trusted officials knew the truth. Orders continued to be issued in the Sultan's name. Daily routines around the royal tent were maintained. Messengers came and went as though nothing has changed. Outside that inner circle, the army continued its mission. So this is where history becomes especially fascinating. Historians broadly agree that Suleiman's death was kept as a secret till the situation was under control, whereas many disagree for how long the Suleiman's death was kept as a secret, and they don't have an answer for this question. Different sources give different timelines for how long the secret was kept. Some later traditions also described special measures taken to preserve the Sultan's body during the journey back to the capital. But not every detail can be confirmed with certainty. That's an important reminder that history is often reconstructed from multiple accounts, not all of which agree. Eventually, Hungary fell to the Ottomans, and soon after, his son Selim became the Sultan. The transition of power took place without the kind of immediate military chaos that many had feared. Whether the secrecy was the deciding factor will always be debated. But there's little doubt that the men around Suleiman believed they were protecting the stability of the empire during one of its most vulnerable moments. So the story of Sultan's final campaign is not just about the death of the most powerful ruler in the Ottoman Empire. It's about loyalty, It's about the fate of an empire which hangs in the balance. It's about the decision the inner circle has to take to protect that fate. More than 450 years later, one question still captures our imagination. How do you hide the death of the most powerful man in the world while leading an army in the middle of a war? Sometimes history is not changed by what everyone knows. Sometimes it is changed by secrets very few were allowed to keep. I'm Tina, and this is Beyond Pages.